Hey guys, what's up? We're back with another YouTube video for you. Today, we're gonna show you a follow-along mobility routine for your spine. So if you have back pain from time to time, if you feel stiff in your spine, if you want to improve more control and awareness of your spine and get stronger, then this is the right follow-along mobility routine for you. Have fun with it. So guys, let's start with a warm-up, quick spinal warm-up to soften and loosen up your spine before we go into more specific exercises and the follow-along routine. So let's start with spinal flow. We're gonna think of a Jefferson curl, so rounding and flexing our spine, going as low as possible, and then starting with a cervical spine if you reach the bottom position, and trying to fight for extension here in the thoracic, TL junction, and your lumbar spine. Beautiful. We're gonna go for 3 to 5 reps, smooth and controlled. Find your deepest flexed position, and then think of a wave, right? Beautiful. Let's do another one. Not much body tension going on, or not too much, just soften and loosen up your spine. Beautiful. Okay, let's do one more. This is the 4th rep. Beautiful. Nice. So next variation to warm up the spine is a little bit, it looks like the same exercise, but it is not. So we go down in the same way, rounding the spine, but when we reach the deepest position, we actually bend our knees and try to drive our hips forward, and then if we reach max extension, we're gonna find extension in the lumbar spine, thoracic, and then eventually the cervical spine. So show it again, nice. Push the hips forward, still in flexion, you see that, and from here, extend, 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 extend up. Beautiful. 2 more. Nice, again, trying to think of just loosen up and softening your spine. Beautiful. Last one. Flexion. And still in flexion, then the extension in the spine happens. Beautiful. Nice. So as I said, 3 to 5 for these 2 warm-up exercises. The next one is the last warm-up exercise for the spine. It's a big circle. Think of a big circle, but we're going through the full range of motion. So thinking of a big circle, and show us 1 rep. So fully go down, and then we go to the side in lateral flexion, open up our lats. Then we go into extension, thinking of pushing the thoracic out, other side lateral flexion, and then come down. Do 2 to 3 in one direction, and 2 to 3 in the other direction. If you have problems in the lower back, then especially make sure you engage your glutes as you go into that extension, or don't force too much extension in your lumbar spine. Okay, guys? Always remember that. Glutes engaged. Nice. Loosen up, not too much body tension, just a warm up. Beautiful. Nice. Great stuff. Hope you're feeling warmed up. Let's go into the first exercise. So guys, before we jump straight into the first exercise, I want to remind you, this is a follow-along routine. We're going to go through 1 full round of it. If you want to make a hard or longer training out of it, if you have the time, you can also do another round or 3 rounds in total, okay? So first exercise we're going to show you is pelvic movement. We want to get more control and awareness to that pelvic motion, and want to dissociate between lumbar action and pelvic action. Of course, it's very hard to dissociate between them completely, as the pelvis is deeply connected with the lumbar spine, the sacrum, but it's like when Leslie's going to show you the difference between having huge lumbar spine involvement and just a tiny little bit, and tries to control only the pelvic with as little as possible lumbar spine motion. That's what we try to achieve here and get more control in it. Okay, guys? So get in this frog position. Make sure you have a strong core and make sure you're trying to fight for that PPT, so a straight lumbar spine and the straight spine upwards, okay? From now, just try to think of rotating the pelvis in anterior pelvic tilt without falling too much into that lumbar spinal extension. Then if you reach max APT, drive back, tuck your pelvis under, PPT, okay? Gonna go for 10 reps, okay? So slow and controlled, find that maximum anterior pelvic tilt, nice and controlled. You see very little stuff is going on. She's really fighting for it. Nice. Stay concentrated and only think of your pelvis. Keep a strong core. Good stuff. Nice. Don't forget to breathe, but still hold the tension in your abdominal area. Nice job. Great stuff. Come on. Beautiful. Nice. How much do we have left? 4. 4 left. Come on, guys. Nice. So what I'm doing here, if you have a partner that's really good, so maybe she or you can get a better feedback, so she really feels if her lumbar spine is moving much more than anticipated, then she really can adjust it and fight for only that pelvis to move more than compared to moving more the lumbar spine, okay? Nice job. First exercise is done. Let's go straight into the second one.
Okay, so now we're going to work on the lumbar spine first and then on the thoracic spine. So we're going to target each area of the spine in 2 different exercises. So first, we're going to go to work on the lumbar spine and we want to block the thoracic spine. So imagine going into a quadruped position and then place your head on the ground, hands behind your neck, and then try to push yourself into thoracic spine flexion. So this part here, try to think of protracting your scapula, so trying to push them out and go into as much flexion as you can. I'm going to place the black roll right here, because what a lot of the time, what we often see with clients is when we ask them to segment their lumbar spine, they're pushing their hips back. So we're using that block as a feedback mechanism. So if you push your hips back, you will notice, because the black roll is here, you can also use something else if you don't have a black roll. So the goal right now is to build some tension throughout the entire body. And now think of starting in full lumbar spine flexion. So you want to push your spine out. You can also go into a posterior pelvic tilt with the pelvis, which we just did previously. So from here, now think of going into an anterior pelvic tilt with the pelvis, and then start to slowly segment into extension with the lumbar spine. Because your thoracic spine is blocked, you will probably only go as far as your TL junction, so midsection of the spine. Now from here, you want to go into posterior pelvic tilt, so bring that pelvis up, exactly, or down basically, and start to go into flexion of the lumbar spine again. We're going through 5 repetitions total. Exactly. So I want you to start with 2 repetitions, starting with the lumbar spine, initiating flexion and extension of the lumbar spine. Exactly. Going back into flexion. And now when you're back in flexion, remember to stay in alignment with the hips. Start with the upper part of the lumbar spine to go into extension. So you're still in a posterior pelvic tilt, slowly lowering down into extension, and then the pelvis moves as the last piece. Now when you found extension, slow and controlled, each segment at a time, start with the upper part of the lumbar spine to go into flexion again, keeping anterior pelvic tilt for as long as possible. Really fight for control over that spine. Keep pushing into flexion with the T-spine. And then again, 2 to 3 reps. starting with the upper part of the lumbar spine. Like one more, so upper part of the lumbar spine is going down into extension. Slow, slow, slow. Keep the posterior pelvic tilt as long as you can. And then anterior pelvic tilt, full lumbar extension. Now start with the upper part of the lumbar spine to go into flexion. And slowly find full flexion, ending with the posterior pelvic tilt. Good. So as I said, we first worked on the lumbar spine. We're now going to work on the thoracic spine. For that, I want you to get with your entire back onto the wall. So when you're here and your lumbar spine is not on the wall, walk your feet out and a little bit away from the wall so that your lumbar spine or the low back is touching the wall as well. And now you want to think of sucking the belly button in and gluing that lumbar spine or that lower back to the wall. So you never lose contact with that part of the spine or with that part of your back and the wall. So what we're going to do now is, from here, we start to segment down with the cervical spine, so chin towards your chest. And you then want to slowly roll down, like peeling off the wall, until you've reached about your belly button height or slightly above, so that your low back is still touching the ground. And again, if you do this as a training routine, then build up to from 80 to 100% tension. If this is just a movement routine, then obviously you want to use a lot less tension. Good. And then slowly peel back onto the wall, using the wall as a feedback mechanism. You basically want each vertebra to touch the wall one at a time, like a segmentation. If you feel like parts of your spine are moving as a chunk, try to pay extra attention to these parts and try to work really hard to get them to move independently from each other so that each vertebra moves alone, basically. Again, we're going through 5 repetitions. Make this slow and controlled. Peeling off the wall, lower back is glued to the wall, glutes are slightly engaged, and then peel back onto the wall. In flexion, slowly extending into that straight spine. 2 more, 3 more?
3 more.
3 more, okay. Keep the tension. Again, try to control all parts of that of the thoracic spine to move into flexion and then out of flexion. This is a really great way because you really get that feedback from the wall, and if you pay close attention, you really notice which parts are moving well and which parts don't move as well. Good. 2 more. Do not lose the tension. I know this is hard, especially for concentration, but try to keep the tension throughout the entire 5 reps. If 5 reps is too much for you at the beginning, dial down to 3. And then work your way up to 5 reps. Nice, good job. Last one, going down into cervical spine flexion, peeling the chin towards the chest, and then slowly starting to peel that thoracic spine off the wall until you've reached about your midsection, your belly button region, lower back still glued to the wall, and then peel back onto the wall. And then bring your chin up again, cervical spine straightening. Nice, good job.
So guys, I'm sweating already. This is quite hard, so spinal training is very underestimated in terms of like intensity and like fatigueness, right? Fatiguing. So next exercise, we're gonna do thoracic spine cars, basically level 3 spinal cars with a yoga block. This can be also book if you don't have yoga block, for some extra tension, especially in your upper body, in your arms and your shoulders, okay? So have a hip width apart stance, or a little bit wider to really have a strong stance. You can slightly bend your knees, engage your glutes. Don't have to necessarily be in full APT or PPT. Really engage your glutes, just neutral lumbar spine. Really squeeze them. This should be 80% to 100% of your max irradiation body tension, okay guys? We're gonna go for 5 deep and intense reps here. Squeeze the block as hard as you can, and then try to go in full spinal flexion. Only thoracic spine if possible, okay? Then tilt or rotate to the side, flex laterally to the side, and then try to open up into extension. Don't fall into lumbar spine extension, guys. Try to think of pushing your thoracic spine out, then lateral flexion, rotate in, and then with that rotation, come forward into the neutral position. Keep the flexion, rotate, then lateral flex. Keep a strong core here. Push the thoracic spine up to the ceiling, flex to the side, rotate in, and come forward. Show us the second rep from the side, so they see also from the side what's going on. Perfect. Second rep, guys. Let's do this. Don't forget to squeeze the block. Engage your arms and shoulders. Rotate with that flexion. Lateral flexion. Nice. Extend. Strong glutes, strong core here. Nice. Looking good. Whew. Nice. Reverse it. Boom. Thinking again of the chest, pushing up to the ceiling, flexing, rotating in, and coming forward. Nice. We've got 3 reps to go. Nice. Strong stance. Look how she is really, really strong and stable. Beautiful. Reverse it. It's the 3rd rep, guys. You're over halfway through. Nice. Looking good and strong. Whew. Hopefully you feel your spine moving very nicely. Strong stance here. 2 more reps. Come on, guys. Squeeze the block here. Get that upper body completely under tension. Nice. Whew. Reverse. Push tall in your thoracic spine. Nice. This is the hardest part here, for sure. Flexion is quite easy to find. That rotation and lateral flexion. But here, this part, thinking of a circle, this is the tricky part. Don't extend through your lumbar spine too much. Nice. Reverse it. Come on. Whew. And extend. Nice. Whew. Beautiful. Good job. I like it. So, guys, this was already quite intense, and we switched up, right? So we haven't done all exercises after each other. So we definitely feel you guys. So the last one, it's going to be also very tough, right? And it's going to be some spinal segmentation in a quadruped position, okay? So if you have a partner, that's great, because as this is a great partner exercise to do. If you don't have a partner, have a hard time to feel, then a resistance band is also great to use here. Just imagine if you have problems with your thoracic spinal segmentation, or you don't feel your thoracic spine moving quite well, then just strap around the resistance band under your hands and place it right here. So this gives you very good feedback, okay? So we're gonna go through 3 clean and hard and slow spinal segmentations here. Make sure your shoulders are stacked over your wrist, hips are stacked over your knees. So the starting position is going to be in full spinal flexion. So PPT and your chin on your chest. Squeeze your thoracic spine out. What's really important to mention before we're going to start is the scapulas, okay? We don't want to protract our scapulas to push the spine to more flexion. That would not be like true spinal flexion. So make sure, even though it's difficult, I know, to stay in a neutral position of your scapulas and only try to push out the thoracic spine. Okay, let's start segmenting here at the beginning of the lumbar spine. If you have a partner, your partner should press here on the beginning of the lumbar spine to give your friend, whatever, good feedback where to segment or where we are right now. Okay guys, walk up slowly. You see the spine stays in flexion here, the upper part, and she's only segmenting here the lumbar spine. Nice and slow. I'm walking up. Again here, don't fall into scapular retraction. Elbows are staying straight. Push the chest down into the ground without falling into retraction. Nice. Cervical spine. Reverse. Chin on the chest again. From here, and then push up. Think of the protraction. We don't want scapular protraction. Try to fight for that thoracic flexion. Beautiful. Lumbar spine stays in extension. Walk down, controlled. Nice. Beautiful. Full flexion again. Next rep, we're gonna start at the top, okay? So the second rep here, we're gonna start at the top. Everything else stays in flexion. This is a lot harder than in the other way, to the other way around. Nice, find thoracic extension while the rest stays in flexion. Nice, slow and controlled. Full extension. Beautiful. Full extension. Now start to go slowly in flexion from your lumbar spine up. It's very hard, guys. Slow and controlled. You think of your scapulars again. Elbows are staying straight. Slowly walk up again. Nice. If you feel like you're shifting with your hips, for a lot of people that might be, you can always do the setup we did. I think it was the second exercise with a black roll here or whatever to give you a little bit of feedback so that you're not push your hips back and forth every time. Let's do the last repetition together. Again, as the first repetition, we start from the lumbar spine and slowly move up. Now, as you get better, obviously, the end result should be doing this without the partner. So let's look at it. The last repetition, really fight for it. Maximum body tension here, controlled as possible, strong elbows. Now the tricky part again, don't fall into retraction, push your chest really down. This looks awesome, nice. One last way, back. Reverse it, guys. This is the last repetition, fight for it. Maximum body tension, feel your spine segmenting. Vertebrae for vertebrae. Nice. Ankle, push against my finger, nice, come on. Beautiful. Whew. Nice job, guys. Whew. We're done, and we didn't even do every exercise. So hope you like this routine, guys. As we said or mentioned in the beginning, you definitely can do 2 rounds or 3 rounds if you really want to do a hard and long training session for your spine.
So spinal segmentation and spinal control, the strength of the spine is really important for overall health, and especially for us now that the general population, the human population, we're sitting a lot, we're living we're living a very sedentary lifestyle. So having that control and that movement of the spine is very important to mitigate back pain, to get rid of back pain, to have a healthy spine, and also to mitigate things like neck problems, hip problems, these kind of things, and to overall feel better and move better.
Yes.
So if you're having problems with that and you like this routine but want to dive deeper into this, don't hesitate to contact us. You can schedule a free consulting call with us, a free strategy call where you can get in touch with us, ask us the questions that you have, and we're happy to help you here. So if you enjoyed this video, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share with as many friends as you have.